1, 2, 3,
Rev up your engines! It's time for the Scotty Kilmer channel. I'm going to show you how to fix a car that dies randomly while you're going down the road, but that doesn't have a check engine light on when that happens, and that doesn't show that there's any trouble codes at all when you hook up a code reader. Now these can be the most annoying problems to find. Since there's no codes and it just dies randomly every once in a while, it can often be really hard to diagnose it, but here's how you start. Realize that if there's no trouble codes, there are parts of the car that the computer system doesn't know anything about. And one of the big things that most computers don't know about is the fuel pressure, because there's no sensor on many cars to tell the computer what the actual fuel pressure is. So if the fuel pump starts to go bad, the computer isn't going to know what the fuel pressure is, and it often won't set a code. So checking the fuel pressure is the first thing you should do. Now years ago there used to be a fitting that was on the engine, you just snap it on to check it. But nowadays they don't do that on most cars. So you have to have a kit like this that has all these different fittings to fit on each car. But heck, I just bought this one at Harbor Freight's Tool, and it was only $80 on sale, so it's not that big of an expense, and it'll last for years and years and years on any car. So you just take the plastic cover off, then get the right adapter and hook it up where the fuel line bolts into the fuel rail. Then connect that line to your gauge to measure the pressure. Then you crank the engine over. If it starts, it works better, but if it doesn't start, you'll still get pressure. And in this case, it started up, so that gives us a better time frame to check the pressure to see if it's normal. Now this car's supposed to run at idle between 46 and 49 psi, but it's only reading 30. And when you don't have enough fuel pressure, the car won't run right, especially at higher speeds, which is what happens to this thing. It'll just die when you're going at a higher speed, but then it starts back up again. Now sometimes low fuel pressure will be a bad fuel pressure regulator, but where we tested it here, the test is before the regulator. It's testing the live pressure from the pump, so we know the pump's bad. But let's play devil's advocate. Let's say the fuel pump pressure was okay. Then what would you do for a car that just dies randomly with no codes? Well, then it gets to be a lot of fun, because you get a scan tool, and you go to record data and push enter. Then you drive the car until it acts up, in this case until it dies. Then you push enter on the machine, and it has recorded everything that went wrong when the car died. Then you have to scroll through all the information that's recorded and analyze it to see which is off. Needless to say, this is a job generally left to a professional mechanic with a lot of experience, so you want to hope you just have a bad fuel pump. So the next time your car starts dying randomly while you're driving, now you know how to check it out. And remember, if you've got any car questions, every Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time, I answer your questions live on Google Events. So be there and I can answer them.